Baby, the Carters and then Lees have been able to hide a lot of things in the industry, but one thing they can't run away from is they're incredibly strong genes. I mean, just look at this photo and tell me it doesn't look like a younger version of Beyoncé. Well, that's because this is her half-sister, and the older she gets, the more she continues to look like Beyoncé and Solange. But this is not the only half-sibling Beyoncé and Solange have. Y'all know that Matthew Knowles has always been wild, right? And we are going to be talking about just how far he went and why Beyoncé and Solange seemingly don't want anything to do with their half-siblings. Okay, Beyoncé's first half-sibling is Koi, who her father had with Takoya Branscombe, and can I start by noting how she has grown into such a beautiful young lady. Like, she is G4 gorgeous, and when I tell you that she has Beyoncé's eyes, girl, just look at these eyes and tell me they are not giving Beyoncé. Anyway, her mom Takoa has actually spoken a bit about how she met Matthew, and she said that she met him when she was a dancer, and at the time Matthew treated her like the love of his life during their affair, but that changed when he learned that she was pregnant with Koi, after which he left her. He didn't just leave her, by the way. Matthew even had the audacity to deny that the child was his until a DNA test proved otherwise. When you told Matthew Knowles that you were pregnant with his child, how did he react? Very much, well, you can't get pregnant by me. You know this can't be my child. Can't deny it once DNA test comes out. 99.9% that you are the father. All single ladies, all single ladies. So something interesting about Koi is that her mom was allegedly very good friends with Solange. Based on reports, met Solange through a stylist in 2008, and they apparently went out to clubs and bars together in Texas on numerous occasions. And Matthew knew that Sequoia was friends with his daughter, while Solange reportedly had no idea that the two were having an affair. Well, Sequoia did admit to her role in this situation. She put Tina, Solange and Beyoncé in and expressed regret about the affair, telling Inside Edition, "Yes, I slept with a married man and it was the wrong thing to do, but I have a beautiful daughter that came out of the situation." She did also say that Beyoncé refused to have anything to do with her half-sister, but she also said that even with the legal battle with Matthew, she was also hopeful her daughter may one day meet Beyoncé. She said, "Hey, they are half-sisters, so maybe one day down the line that will be possible." Well, it's been years since she did the interview, and it seems Beyoncé still doesn't want anything to do with Koi, and neither does Solange, cause neither of them has ever reached out to her. Well, other than Queen Bey and Solange also have a half-brother named Nixon. Matthew fathered the love child with Alexander Wright, but he was also refusing to pay child support until Alexander took him to court. At some point it was actually so bad that Alexander and her son Nixon had to live in a homeless shelter because she literally couldn't afford anything. Well, as much as Beyoncé and Solange also don't want anything to do with Nixon, Alexandra also made it very clear that she does not blame Beyoncé for anything that went down between her and her cheating father. "I'm in the middle of the fight for my son's rights. I got over 1,000 death threats last week alone." For what? Because this article said that I blamed Beyoncé, which again, let me say for the record, it's not her fault. I've never blamed her. I want the best for her. Everyone's in pain. In fact, Alexandra also admitted her role in hurting Tina, Beyoncé and Solange, and she even wrote an open letter saying it is with a heavy heart that we must head back to Superior Court to continue the fight for the rights of my son Nixon Knowles, who has proven to be Matthew Nal's biological son. My family and I have exhausted every non-legal avenue to urge Matthew to be a responsible father and to follow the stipulated judgment we reached together, which was approved by California Superior Court. Alexandra also talked about how in the beginning she had a working relationship with Matthew that encompassed mutual respect and professional admiration. She said that when she met him she already had a very successful and financially viable professional career, and he positioned himself as a mentor to her and someone that she could turn to for business advice. But as time passed, their relationship turned into a very close personal one, but she never meant to hurt anyone. Then she apologized to Tina, Beyoncé and Solange for what she had put them through, adding, "I regret the pain that I have contributed to his family. And to my own family I have the utmost respect and admiration for both of his daughters. They are both lovely women. I also regret the pain that this situation has caused his ex-wife Tina, and very much wish one day I will get the opportunity to tell her personally." So, there's allegedly also an older brother that we don't know much about, and only God knows how many more others. And if I'm being honest, maybe Beyoncé and Solange don't want anything to do with their half-siblings because there are probably too many to get acquainted with. Also, we've had some people say that they don't understand why anyone would think that Beyoncé and Solange are under any obligation to acknowledge or develop any sort of relationship with their half-siblings. I mean, adultery is not just a betrayal to the mother, it's also a betrayal to the kids, and what adulterers don't think about is all the trauma this creates for everyone around them. Imagine Beyoncé and Solange watching their dad repeatedly embarrass their mother publicly and have the nerve to create multiple permanent reminders of the betrayal. I mean, it must be pretty heavy on them. On the other hand, we've had people saying that the half-siblings are not at fault and they at least deserve a relationship with their siblings. Remember, not so long ago Alexandra also noted that Beyoncé bought a house just 10 miles from their trailer, and that her main concern has been dealing with Nixon, who asks, "Why doesn't that person love me?" She also added that she just doesn't know how to help Nixon to be his own person, but she believes their children and grandchildren will be much better human beings, and they will find a way to open up and have that conversation. Apparently something else that bothers Alexandra is that people always ask Nixon straight up at school if he's Beyoncé's brother, and the grown-ups are always taking pictures of him. She said that Nixon has never had the luxury of being a normal child, and it's even harder for him because Bey wants absolutely nothing to do with him. So we have people saying that Bey and Solange are intentionally icing their half-siblings out. Some people have also noted that Beyoncé won't even let Jay-Z acknowledge his other children. Like, there have been reports claiming that she specifically tells Jay-Z not to acknowledge his other children. For instance, we know that Rammer Sideways' mother Wanda hooked up with Jay-Z in 1992 at his aunt's apartment in Brooklyn, New York, after Jay first picked her up in Philadelphia, and the story is that they used protection but it failed, and other than a visit from him 2 weeks later they never saw each other again. And Wanda had no idea how to contact Jay-Z. Ramier claimed he was first told by his mother that she believed Jay-Z was his father when he was around 8 years old, and he has actually been trying to get Jay-Z to admit that he's the father for like a decade. That she met Jay-Z, yes, and had intercourse with him. How old was she? I would say I think she was about 16, 17 or 16. He's turning 16 or 17. I Wouldn't I know it was one of them? And Jay-Z was what age? I wouldn't happen to know. I think he was. Was he in his 20s? I read 22. Oh yeah, I think I read 22, but he was in his 20s. Yes, I wouldn't happen to know his age, but 22 I'm pretty sure. If they put that out there, then yeah, that's was right. So I just want to point out to our audience that Jay-Z having with a minor would make that child because she was underage at the time, and then furthermore the fact that he took her from one state to another state, I imagine would be a violation of well, with this case in the last couple of months, we've also learned that Jay-Z's lawyers lied in court when they claimed they misspoke, and that Jay-Z has refuted the claims in court despite allegedly trying to settle them outside of court a long time ago. Ramier also said that someone tried to live him and was firing at him after he filed a civil suit against Jay-Z, and that intimidation tactics have been used against them for years. His godmother Dr. Lily also specifically said that she believes that Beyoncé played a key role in dissuading Jay-Z from acknowledging Ramier and settling the case, and she also said that Beyoncé and Jay-Z may have cruelly mocked Ramier in their music. Beyoncé thing came when a friend of mine who knew her, somebody in her camp, okay, and she said something, supposedly this is all hearsay, okay, about regarding saying Ramier needs to go away little boy, something to that effect. There was something out there with this song they made, and then next thing I know, somebody was at my property. Somebody came to my property in the evening time and had a conversation about trying to get in through the back door. Now, other than Ramier, we also have Letitia Mayer, who claimed that she was Jay-Z's daughter, on an expose on Instagram where she was like, "I've been quiet for far too long. Join me as I tell you my story of living in the shadows of being Jay-Z's daughter in a city where everyone knew he was my father, but I kept it all together, raising 4 kids, including a set of twins, while going to school full-time, working 2 jobs at the prison and the hospital, and has multiple sclerosis. I've been worried that Jay-Z was my father all my life. There's no way that he can deny anything, especially when people were there that know him. I remember there he just looked at me and he was like, Dad, love." In my living room he was talking to my mom. I was going to leave it alone. They brought me one of those ancestry tests. Finally I get some type of answers. He knows that I exist, apparently. Letitia was born in 1990 after her mother Lisa had been introduced to Jay-Z through Lisa's sister, and the two immediately began a romantic relationship. The sister even wrote about the encounter on Facebook, saying, "I know the story from start to finish. I hooked your mother and father up years ago. Jay asked me who she was when I lived on 500 Side Greenwood. We chilled in that apartment so many times. We laughed, drank, smoked, played cards, and some more stuff. Lisa and I have talked about this for years." In addition, one of Jay's old friends, Ashino, actually confirmed the allegations and said in 2022 that Jay-Z purchased a house for Letitia in Cambridge, Maryland, and that he paid her bills, but allegedly doesn't allow her to put pictures of him around her house as part of their deal, even like the daughter he got. "I'm not hiding my daughter for nobody. The whole reason is to get money is for your kids." Well, the same old friend also said that Jay-Z has cut ties with Letitia and has abandoned her and her mother, who is currently in a wheelchair. And you know what word on the street is? That Beyoncé is the one who told him to cut those ties. There were also allegations that Jay fathered a child with model Chanel Scott, a man named Gerald Andrews, who was assured to be the child's father, said that a DNA Test had shown that his son Malik Say was not his son and that Jay-Z is the father. Also, given all the infidelity we know about Jay-Z, I wouldn't be surprised if there were other children we don't know about. So again, people have always just been like, if we are talking about someone who will not allow her husband to acknowledge his biological children, do you think this is someone who would want anything to do with her half siblings? I don't know, guys, I don't know. But you let me know what you think of this messed up family tree in the comments section below.